Alright, so the years slip by. I've got the vision more and more clear in my mind. My new map helping me out with that. My knowledge of what I need to do, which this morning I started once again to figure out, okay, well, these are the steps I'm going to have to go through. And then I, think about the other related ones, and it's overwhelming to think about it. But almost all of them require something I don't have, and this is one of the reasons I get stuck pretty quickly. Almost all of them require a heck of a lot more money. And so I really have to do a crowdfunding effort and also set a price for anybody who wants to come here. And rather than me using my identity in the project, some of them are interesting enough people that they can also be useful for crowdfunding. And so if they think they want to be involved, why is it always up to me? I could help them immensely with photos and defining projects that they're interested in, and then they can be the person who's motivated, because they don't get to be involved unless they are part of the crowdfunding. That would be a revolutionary change in attitude for me. What an interesting idea. Maybe I could lower this area entirely. Filling in that ravine. I wish my GPS was working. It's so annoying. So anyway, back to the crowdfunding thing. So I have all these tools that I need to get going again. One of them is like a GPS solution. One of them is a 360 photosphere camera, so I can make virtual spaces. Those are all fairly small ticket items, really, but they would immensely create power to accomplish cool shit. Because I want another way to get across this barranca, this ravine. And it could be from that point over there, which would actually make more sense in some ways, but not always. If I'm already down right here, then every bit that's already down, this is only a couple meters, but I know that this part of the ravine doesn't have anything interesting in it, or it doesn't have the most interesting shit. And so I'm guessing that shooting to an equal elevation would actually not be that way, but this way, which would get me to a cool spot over there. And that would mean I would dump a huge amount of dirt in here, some of it coming from the other side, because I have a huge area I can just excavate out and flatten and then dump it all in here. That would result in a really great microclimate down in here, in which you could have a stairway down into and stuff, and a cool, super cool garden spot. It's either that, or I could do it from way down there, or both. None of that has to happen until there's other sources of income. So anyway, back to the topic. I get distracted because I'm thinking about maps all the time right now. Okay, so number one is documenting equipment for documenting. So that's some camera fix, a new camera, probably, I think a lot of people now travel with a phone, which is a pretty good recording device. And so I think encouraging any other participants to have their own recording equipment would be good. I need a computer that is dedicated to doing dedicated things. One of those functions would be to collect data from a bunch of people. So in this case, it could be a Linux computer. It doesn't have to be the fastest, because I can hook other external hard drives up to it. But data collection then becomes important. I need to finance existing Starlink connection, solar panels to support it, different solar panels in another spot, and another Starlink connection. Yes, I even have the equipment to move internet from one place to another. but I know I'm going to need the bandwidth, and I don't want to fight over bandwidth with people as I invite them. If I'm going to invite people, I need massive infrastructure improvements. I need to probably include with even with the first stage is a new kitchen, a kitchen made to produce food, lots of it. There's certain projects which we can break funding off and do those separately. I have several energy related projects. One that I want to include probably with the A-level stuff is a solar sauna. That's got to happen. People really want to be clean, and even though I can handle not being clean, I don't think if I have other people around that I want to be dirty, and I don't want them to be dirty, and they don't want to be dirty. So the solar sauna becomes a high priority project. I have a lot of tiles already. I don't know what the value of tiles are, but it would not be that expensive to get those up somehow. And those become camping, they become, barbecue spots, whatever, I don't know. Place for a burrow. I think getting the chickens and rabbits going again, and I can break the budget out for these kind of things. Like, the biggest cost there is actually fencing, because I'm done fucking around with tiny ass little fencing that predators occasionally kill my animals. I want a real fucking fence that's tall, made of probably concrete block, and no predators can fucking get into it except maybe from the sky, which does happen still, but that's less common, and we can figure some stuff out. Bulldozer work, I've been looking at my maps, and in that case it would be, okay, what's my first priority bulldozer work? If I had a bulldozer here now, what would I do right away? And I know that already. And it would just be some imaginary line between what's really critical and what isn't. Now, once you get a bulldozer on site, it's actually cheaper to keep them on site and do a little more work if it opens up more land and space for more stuff. So it's tricky to pick and choose those things, but a lot of it I already know. I know it needs to be done. Like, there's a ridge I'd like to probably bulldoze through, and I don't know if that's even possible. We could start it, and then if it doesn't work out, no harm, no foul, except the chickens. But is there a sweet smell? What is that? It's not something dead. There's a weirdly sweet smell. Must be plants. One of these plants is like giving off some kind of thing. Okay, so what do we got? Housing, I would say finishing some cabins that aren't done and building the first part of a building between them, which would make a whole area be super useful suddenly that is not currently useful. And it's far from everything else. It really is its own deal. And it could be, well, it's tough. Yeah, it's really got to be in a spreadsheet and then prioritize it. All this crap has to be. But housing is a big issue. I could, I don't like to do things that are temporary. But if I'm going to have enough people here, I could send a package out to a bunch of people who make... Why is this not locked? Oh, because I thought some people were going to come through. Fuck, and they didn't. I should go talk to those guys right now, because we're running out of time before it gets too rainy. Yeah, fuck. Fencing, other kinds of fencing would be good too, and it's a big budget item. I mean, there's no other way around it. And the problem is that it's either a huge amount for the fencing I want, or it's putting in, for example, chain link fencing, or even just really good barbed wire fencing with concrete posts. Because this whole area in here could have cows in it for a while, or donkeys would be preferable to, like, that's really it's a whole other project. See, this is why I'm confused. There's just too many projects. I think, you know, like a burro sanctuary would be great, a donkey sanctuary. And that would give me a ruminant, because ruminants clear land, right? And they wouldn't hurt it. They would improve it. They would eat some stuff I'd rather they not, I suppose. But it would get us started on making this entire huge space here into a usable space. But like, I'm in this constant struggle between, do I do the simple solution that works for now, or do I do the one that works for later? And I've already seen that conflict happen. I mean, I have a neighbor who I advised a little bit with him, and, you know, he put in a barbed wire fence, and then, you know, about a year and a half later, he put in a chain link one because he needed to control his dogs. And so this is the retrofitting problem of, like, I don't want to do the expedient thing that I can afford now. I want to do the right thing that's the long-term solution. And so that gets into the question of which projects are the most important, and really it comes down to which ones produce income. Because with money you can do anything. The building program is a really good one to even start with. I mean, that will pay for itself, the students will pay, and or they'll seek crowdfunding. They will not fucking seek a scholarship from our system. You know, there's plenty of people out there with the social cachet or family money to pay their own fucking way, even if they don't want to pay it individually. So I'm sick of hearing from people who want to live for free. Fuck those people to hell. Doesn't sound very nice, does it? Well, it gets a little annoying when you get it every fucking day. And I guarantee you that these people who want to go live for free aren't out there supporting 50 people who live for free off of them. They would be offended by that idea. Well, I'm offended by every single day almost getting somebody that wants to live at my place for free in exchange for their fucking precious labor, which is usually just labor for me and a net loss. I'd rather pay local people to do work and actually work. And that's not saying that every person who proposes that they do that is a terrible worker. Some of them might even be worth it. But I don't fucking have any money to do it with. And so they need to get first on the fundraising team. And they can get on the fundraising team for themselves, you know. A bunch of them act like fucking victims. Like, I'm a big victim of the capitalist system. And, you know, if you say no to them, they're like, well, you shouldn't even be able to own land. Nobody can own land. And it's like, wait a minute, you want me to turn my fucking land over to you, end my time, and be your fucking slave? And you're not willing to raise any money or anything. You're not willing to actually do the work that needs to get done? Fuck you. Motherfuckers. Yes, I'm extremely aware of the corrupt system we live in, which I refuse to call capitalism, since that is not what capitalism is. It's fucking corrupt plutocracy, oligarchy plutocracy, in most places in the world. And oligarchy in any case. So don't fucking think I have to go I can't go deeper into poverty. I mean, yeah, I can give up my land. I can become a fucking homeless guy on the street that nobody gives a shit about. That's all left I can do for you, to give you shit for free. Fuck you, motherfuckers. Not you personally, you might not be one of those people, but you can tell I'm a little frustrated with this idea that, yeah, I don't want to fucking associate with those people anymore. Fuck them. They were raised wrong. And they get real mean when you say no. You don't get free shit from me. Go get free shit from somebody else. Plenty of people make lots of money off the system. Figure out how to write grants. It doesn't take a huge amount of skill if you're an intelligent person, but you claim you have some kind of value. That's a hard job, though. Talked to one guy, and he was like, well, you might have to apply for 100 grants to get one. Some of the grants are like a couple $1,000. And so how many hours are you going to spend writing up grants to get, enough so that you made 50 cents an hour for your labor, which then doesn't support the fucking project, and you're still in net loss. So, it's possible there could be much larger grants available. Even like I talked with somebody who wanted to get a project funded, and so oil and gas companies actually have funds set aside that they need to give to programs to support. And so she helped this nonprofit for a commission get this really big grant from a gas and oil company. Well, that works pretty good, doesn't it? That's really smart. And you wouldn't think of that. Many people are against oil and gas companies. I'm not particularly against them. They're giving people exactly what they want. If every oil and gas company went out of business tomorrow, billions would die. Not to mention they're not going to go out of business because they make a lot of money. Taking the people's oil, ultimately it's the people's oil. And this happens with all kinds of natural resources where the government claims ownership over it and they run it through their corrupt system, and the actual people don't benefit from their own resources. It happens whether it's called capitalism or socialism or whatever it is. It happens in Venezuela. Happens all over the world. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I can't fucking GPS that point. Alright, so the only other thing I can do is I can load up the file. This is what I can do. I can load up the file because I have the topographical map. I can load it up and then count the fucking lines down, and then mark on either side of the ravine equivalent lines. I could do that. As long as I pick a different color on each one, then I can draw lines between them. And then I can go down in there and even with my phone or something, figure out where I am at between those lines. It shouldn't be totally impossible, even though I have the wrong tools. Well, my tool is broken. I had the right tool. And I wonder why it's doing that. Like, I changed the batteries. Maybe the batteries are not in there very well. Maybe I need to change them again or wiggle them around or something. Because it works, it just suddenly turns off as soon as I try and use it. So maybe like I squeeze it enough to hit a button, and for some reason that screws up the battery. I don't know. I got so many problems I can't deal with it. And I need to be like creating nonprofits, and I started doing that this morning, and pretty soon I was just like, God, this is going to take months to do. But making progress does not take months. The total number of hours I need to put in to set up a nonprofit isn't that many. Although one of the stages I have to have three people on the board, and I probably have 3 people I trust. Actually, I do. And they don't even have to do anything. Actually, that's not true, because there's reasons why they require 3 people. And like, I have to have notes of meetings. I have to actually have the meetings. And I want them to be people who are really into it. And to be honest, like the people I trust the most, actually, even though they're a supporter of me and they like me and they're good friends and stuff, well, I've got one good friend. I got people who let me use their name. Because I have to incorporate it as a nonprofit and stuff. And I do have to do it. I just can't live another year in desperation. It's been so many already. And it could be that 1 year from now, if I get my shit together, I'll be like, oh, it's functioning. There's money coming in. There's people being employed. There's things being built. People are happy. Somebody messaged me today about, how much their time in the forest meant to them. And I was really happy to hear that. They said it was, life-changing for them, and that it's been a constant inspiration, their experience. And I didn't even know how long they were here. Might have been a week. But people are very thirsty for alternatives, especially now they see how fucked up the world is. They're very thirsty for alternatives, and I have various sets of alternatives. So it was nice to hear from her. Now, she was kind of being like pushing that I should have an event, and she mentioned it should be cheap. And it's just like, that word I hate hearing, because it means I lose money and on my time. So fuck that shit. Other than that, I realized she was trying to be encouraging. But no, it's not encouraging to say you want something unless you incorporate with that how to fund it. Something other than me.